Welcome back, Alan here. So what I want to do is start adding some functionality to my calendar. As you can see, I can scroll through everything and that looks nice and all, but one of the big things that we need to be able to do is select the current date and go to it. Like right now, I have no idea where I am in the calendar, and I want to be able to hit here and then get returned to my current date. So like today, which is March 14th, according to that. And then I also want to make it so that I can select one of these and I know that I have selected it. So kind of an indication that it has been selected, and then deselect this. So that's what I'm going to do today, and just kind of walk you through some quick little tips, tricks, things like that through this. Okay, so first step is going to be, I'm going to kind of create the selection listener here. So as soon as somebody hits one of these dates, I'm going to change it so it looks like this right here. So let's go into our adapter, because that's where it's going to live. The adapter is going to handle all of that for us. And what I want to do is I'm going to take these things right here, take this information and pull it out into its own function. So each of the view holder now will have an is selected, or you know what, let's call this handle selection, and then we'll say is select. Let's see, let's just do day. Let's pass in day here, and then I'm going to copy this, actually cut it, and then I'm going to copy or cut this. And then you can see it's complaining because these are within the binding. So we'll do at binding.apply. And now everything's not complaining. And we'll do the same thing up here just to make it nice and consistent. There we go. Okay. So unfortunately, if I were to run this right now, the current day would not be selected. So what I want to do is I want to say handle selection and then pass in the day. And the reason I pulled this out into its own function is so that I can go up here and add an onClickListener to the item view. So holder.itemView .set onClickListener. Now the reason I'm adding this to the item view is when a user goes here and hits one of these guys, any of these, it needs to be that. It can't be any of the specific or any view directly in that layout. Otherwise it's going to look weird. We want people to be able to fat finger and just tap the whole thing. All right, so then what we're going to do is I'm going to create another function right here. I'm going to say fun. I'm going to call this, fun. We're going to say on select, and then I'm going to pass in the current position that we are selecting. And what we'll do is we'll call on select here, position. Now, first thing is I want to deselect everything. And the reason I want to deselect everything is it's a little bit easier and a little bit faster or not faster. It's just a little bit easier way to handle the code, and then everything gets deselected and then will be redrawn when we notify the data set change. So we'll say, all right, let's see, current list, which grabs the current list that is, well, currently in the adapter dot let. And the reason why I do this safe call right here is because current list is potentially null. Let's see. It dot for each, and we're going to go day dot is selected equals false. So now all of the days within the calendar are set to false, so they're not going to be selected or anything. Then we'll say get item for position. Whoops. Then we're going to say dot is selected equals true. So what this is doing is it's getting the item at the position that the user selected and then setting it to is selected. And then we're going to say notify dataset changed. Okay. Now that should be it, basically. The onClickListener should work. So if I go ahead and run this, waiting for the compile, always annoying. All right, here we go. Okay. Boom. Looks like we had a little bit of an issue where it popped up, but you can see it's kind of going in nicely. Neat. Now, I think we can refine this a little bit more. What we can do is we can say, all right, private var current selected position equals, we're going to go 0, the 0, 1 it will be. And then we'll say, all right, current selected position equals it dot, let's see, binary search. No, we're not going to use the binary search there. We'll do find, and there should be an index. Find index of, there we go, index of first, where the day, or we'll go day, that day is selected. So that's going to give us the very first position of the day that is currently selected. And then we'll say, all right, oh, I'm actually doing this incorrectly. So we're going to do val previous, previous position equals current. And then we'll say current equals position. Then we're going to go get previous position dot is selected equals false, and then get item current selected position that is selected equals true. And then we'll go notify item changed previous, notify item changed current. And let's see if this works. If it doesn't, I'm not too concerned. We'll do this guy. Yeah, that's not working nicely. Oh well. Okay. So we'll just leave it at that. This works nicely. I'm not going to do too much beyond that, so whatever. Nice to try something else and see if there's a little more efficient way to do it, but I suspect that the most efficient way would probably be putting everything into a database and then the database updating things as I go. Drop my pen. All right, so listeners are all good. So now what we want to do is be able to hit this guy and center in there. So if I scroll off here, I want to come over back. I want that to come right back here into the center of the screen. And what we can do and how we can do that is through what's called a SmoothScroller. So let's go ahead and in the horizontal calendar package, we're going to create a SmoothScroller. I'm going to call it center SmoothScroller. And this will inherit from this guy, RecyclerView.SmoothScroller. All right. So it's complaining to me because it needs to implement certain members. You know what? No. What I want to do, not that one. Let's see. What was it? It was linear. There we go. Linear SmoothScroller. I think I need to pass into it. Yep. I need a context. So I'm going to say context. And I'm going to pass that in right over here. There we go. Okay. I can delete this import now. Now, a linear smooth scroller is just going to basically the default smooth scroller that is added to a recycler view. So when you want tell the recycler view to scroll somewhere, it's going to use that. I could even, let's see, I think, nope, I messed that up. All right, cool. So there are several methods that we could override. If we go into a linear smooth scroller, we can kind of see all of the ones that they have. All right, let's see. You've got a lot. So like on target found, we could override if we wanted to try that. There is on stop. And then we could do calculate speed per pixel. So that's how fast that the scrolling is going to occur per the number of pixels on the screen. Not what we want. Don't really care about that. Then there's the calculate time for decelerate. Yeah, not touching that type of math. There is some math that I'm going to be doing here in just a second, but I don't want to touch any of that. Let's see, there it is. Okay, so there's calculate dt to fit, and I forget what dt is, kind of like delta time, but I don't think that's it, actually. I don't think the t is what it is. But then there's calculate dy, so the change in vertical positioning in order to make the item come into screen. So kind of just that's basically what it is. It's calculates the vertical scroll amount necessary to make the given view fully visible inside the recycler view. And then down here we've got the calculate dx, which is the same thing except it's the horizontal. But the one that we really want, and the one that we want to change, is this calculate dt to fit. And dt to fit is going to help make it easier for us to position everything within our recycler view. And in this case, center our very first one, or center the item that we want into our recycler view. So let me go over here. All right, what I've got here is a little bit of a view. All right. So the idea is that well, you know what? Let's actually start implementing this function first. So calculate dt to fit. Okay. So there are a lot of parameters to this function right here. So let's go ahead and actually walk through what each of these are using that diagram that I just showed you. So there's view start. And view start is just the start of the view that you want to bring into the screen. The position of the view, the view at the position that you want to bring into the screen. Then there's view end, which is the end of the view. Same thing that you want to bring into the screen. Then there's box start and box end. Now, box start and box end refer to the box, and the box is where the recycler view is. It's kind of the holder of the recycler view in the layout. So box start is the start of that view. So in this case, because I am using a horizontal recycler view, this is what it looks like. Box start is up here or over here on the left, and then box end is over here on the right. If this were to be a vertical recycler view, like a normal list, box start would be at the top and box end would be at the bottom. Okay, so dt. All right. You know, I am curious if I just told you something wrong. If you try this out using a vertical one, hopefully this will center your item into the screen vertically. If it does, awesome. Let me know in the comments, because I do want to make sure that I did tell you good information. If it didn't and it just positioned it horizontally, then yeah. So there's probably something else that needs to happen. Okay. So how do we figure out where the center is that we want? Well, this is the center right here. This line right here is the center. Oops. But we don't know that. We have to actually calculate it. And a lot of that calculation is based upon the pixels on the screen. Well, to get to this center right here, we have to figure out what the distance is from box start to box end divided by 2. Okay, so this is the calculation of the center. And the reason I say the distance from box start to box end is because box start, instead of being at pixel 0, it could be at pixel 10, and box end could be at pixel 100. 100 minus 10 is 90. 90 divided by 2 is 45. The center of this is at pixel 45. Whereas if it was 100, or if box start started at pixel 0 and box end was at pixel 100, the center would be at pixel 50. So that's a difference of 5 pixels right there. And we don't want to do that. So we want to calculate box end minus box start and divide that by 2. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to do val box center equals box end minus box start. And we'll surround this in parentheses. We'll do a divide by 2. Okay, so that tells us how many pixels from here to here is the center. Now, we need to get the actual pixel on the screen. So if this was at 0, 50 would be definitely it. But if this is at 10, 10 plus 45, that's, 55. That's at, the center is at pixel 55, not 45, not 50. It's at 55. So we need to figure out, all right, this is where it's going to be. So we'll go val box screen center equals box start plus box center. Okay. Now bear with me. Now we need to figure out what the pixel center of the view is going to be. So again, we're going to basically do the exact same thing. So view end minus view start divided by 2. View start plus that half is going to get us there. So we'll go val view center equals view end minus view start divided by 2. Yep. All right, cool. So then we're going to go val view screen center equals view start plus view center. All right. Double check myself. Yes, my math is good. It's going to get there. Now, that's not quite it yet. What we need to do is get this edge, where this edge is going to be within the screen. So now we have the box center on the screen, and we have the view center on the screen. Now we need to get over to here, and that's basically just the box center right here, the box screen center minus the view screen center. All right, so return box screen center minus view screen center. All right. So hopefully you followed all that. Hopefully you got it. If you didn't get that, definitely go back and rewatch this, because it's very basic amount of math, but it's algebra. That's basically what this is. It's algebra. You're trying to figure out where story problems, and you're just trying to figure that out using algebra. All right. So let's get back to the actual coding. All right. So the next thing that we want to do is I need to add the actual onClickListener to this. Okay. So we'll go to the main activity. I'm going to do binding dot toolbar dot set menu item on menu item click listener. And I'm going to pull this out into its own function, because I like that a whole lot better than having multiple indentations. So fun. Let's see. Handle menu item click, and it's going to take an item. It's going to be a menu item, and we'll do equals when menu, or we're going to call this item dot item ID. Let's see, what was the item ID? Let's see. In this case, today. That's what it is. R dot ID dot today And then we'll do something. I'm going to return true from here, because true indicates that this listener, this function, handled everything to do with the menu item. So I'm going to just say, all right, handle, and we're going to pass that in. All right. Now, what I want to do is call back to the view model so that it will go through and figure out what position today is in the RecyclerView. And the view model has access to all of that because this item, this horizontal calendar source, which is a paged list, is always going to be updated with the absolute latest. So we're going to go and we're going to say fun reset calendar position. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to say, all right, horizontal calendar source dot value dot data source dot nope, not data source. Let's see, dot apply gives me a paged list. Yes. Okay. Now I'm going to search through the paged list for today, what the current date is. So we're going to go val today equals now. What was it? It was now dot of to zone. Nope. Dot zone at zone ID dot get system default dot to local date. All right. So now that I have today, now I'm going to say, all right, binary search. And binary search is really efficient. Again, I personally do not think that you need to know algorithms to get any sort of jobs. You don't need to know the details in the implementation or anything. You just need to know that they exist. We could use the find one, but that just iterates forward. But binary search is much better, and if you don't know about it, go ahead and look it up now and read about it and get an idea of what that is. So what we want to do here is we want to do a comparison. We're going to do pass in a comparator. So it's going to be it. So I'm going to say day dot date is, let's see, compare to today. And this compare to will give us some data and information out of it. So like -1 if it's before. So -1 if today is before the current date that we are comparing to. 0 if it's equal, and 1 if it is after. I think that's how it works. Don't quite quote me on that one. I would highly recommend looking that up yourself. So now what we want to do is we're going to go val position equals that. Actually, yeah. And then I want to create another piece of live data that I'm going to observe. So I'm going to go val, let's see, go to position, because I may use this later for something else. So we're going to go live data int equals mutable live data. You know what? I don't like that. That's not fun, or not a good way to do it. So there's this thing called backing fields. Go to pose in Kotlin equals mutable live data -1. Oh, come on. There we go. Backing fields are basically the same type of field, but you put an underscore in front of it. That's what the indication is. The reason I'm doing a backing field is because I want to do what's called type erasure. I want to tell everybody outside of this function that this, instead of being is not a mutable type, it is a live data type, which means that it's not touchable, can't do anything about it. So yeah, that's the reason I'm doing that. All right. And then we do go down here and we say, all right, go to position dot value equals position. There we go. So now when go to position gets updated, this version of go to position will be updated, and then whatever's observing it will get that data and that information. So let's go here. Yeah, we can make this private. So we're going to make it private. We're going to go main view model dot go to position dot observe this. Okay, first off, I want to do a check and say, all right, if position is equal to -1, return at observe. I like to do get outs. These types of things just get out as fast as possible. I mean, you could do something else. Hold on, I'll show you in just a second. So what I'm going to do is say, all right, we're going to create a smooth scroller up here. Val center smooth scroller equals center. The reason I'm creating up here is I don't want to create it every single time. Smooth center smooth scroller dot position target position equals position, and then I say binding dot recycler dot horizontal calendar dot where is that? Smooth scroll. Smooth scroll. No. Scroll 2. Oh, no. It's start scroll. Whoops. I forgot. I am forgetting. Dot scroll. Let's do a quick look. Scroll to positions. Position. Compute scroll on nested. Nesting. Dispatch nested. Get smooth scroll by can scroll set scroll I'm forgetting something. If you know what I'm forgetting and you're screaming at me right now, I would not blame you, because I should not be forgetting this, and for some reason I am. Oh wait, it's probably it's layout manager. Layout manager dot start smooth scroll, pass in the center. There we go. That's what it was. Haha. All right. So basically what I'm doing is I'm asking the layout manager to perform the scroll for me. All right. Let's see. I forgot to pass in the context. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and run this. And we'll see what happens. Make sure I didn't screw anything up, because, well, we all know how that goes. You write something and you do it and you create it. There we go. Nice. Go there. All right, so that's not working. Did I call it? No, I did not call it. So main view model dot reset. See, I screwed something up. And I go there. Cool. Now, here's one little trick. If I click that and I hit this, it just scrolls me to here, but doesn't select that. So what I want to do is select it. So what I'm going to say is, let's see, what was my adapter called? Horizontal dot on select and pass in the position. So let's go ahead and rerun this. Okay, so now that it's up, I'm going to scroll over here to a different date. I'll go ahead and select that, hit the day, and then boom, comes right in, moves over, and selects that. All right, that's it. That's what I did. It's not too bad. It's not too much going on. Sometimes you can overcomplicate things with everything. The unfortunate part is I do have to call this notified data set changed. I'm not too happy with that, because that is a bit of a it's a lot of calculations and a lot of redrawing of things. And I don't like it. But unfortunately, that is where I am at with this, because when I tried to do, you saw the notify certain positions changed, things didn't really work out very nicely. So maybe I did something wrong, and I can go and I can play with it a little bit later, and we'll see. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something new from it. And particularly like with the SmoothScroller, that's kind of a fun one to go and play around with and get a kind of a neat new look at. And maybe you learned about binary search in Kotlin. I mean, it's a great little function that's built into lists and such for us. Lists and maps, I believe. Let me see, actually. Let's see, val my map equals mutable map of, and we're going to do into string, and let's see, my map dot, nope, yeah, binary search only works on, binary search can only work on a list, because the list is ordered data, a map cannot be ordered. So, oh well. There's probably a couple of other data collections that you can use binary search on that has already been implemented for you. So anyway, there you go. I hope, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. I hope, if you did, if you got something out of it, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button. If you want to continue watching this and continue seeing me go through what it's like to build an app from beginning to end, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to know when I post videos like this. Well, I do it about every week. So anyway, if you do all that for me, I will see you all next time.